So I saw the 2009 Sherlock Holmes movie, and I thought I'd do a little detective review of that film. And though I won't really go into spoilers much, I will be discussing or looking at some parts of the story. So just to start off with a short, really spoiler-free review. If you expect a Hollywood-made action movie with Sherlock Holmes, right? You will not be disappointed. I found the movie to be entertaining, and it has several nice action scenes and a good use of humor. So, if that sounds interesting, I can recommend it. But to get started on the more comprehensive review, so in what I call a detective review, I look at first of all three things. Whether it stars action hero Sherlock Holmes, or if it's more a sort of thinking man's Sherlock Holmes, and whether the movie rewards paying attention. As in whether there are hints as to who the sort of guilty person is. And finally, whether there is any sort of actual detecting in the story or not. And in this movie, well, I think when I first thought of having the distinction of whether something is a story with the action hero Sherlock Holmes or not, I think I probably had this movie in mind, because this is undoubtedly an action movie where Sherlock Holmes spends much of the movie running around and being physical in different ways. And there's, of course, the sort of typical Sherlock Holmes element, such as him having very strong observational skills and deductive abilities, and this, of course, show up also in this movie. So there's some detecting, you could say. He goes around trying to determine what has been going on for events that happened, especially before the start of the movie. And whether the movie rewards paying attention? Well, not really. There's always some elements, perhaps, that you could guess and aren't really surprising when they're revealed, but this is sort of a story where the antagonist is introduced early on, and there is really no doubt as to what is going on. It's mostly a question of stopping him, finding out what he intends to do, and stop him. And that more or less covers the three elements that I try to look at in these reviews. One interesting detail is that this movie, I saw it originally when it was in cinemas a couple of years ago. So let's say a couple of years ago. This is a 2009 movie, so it's quite a lot of years ago. But when I saw it now, I thought the music sounded quite familiar. The music that's in the opening. And when I went to check, this is actually a movie that came out 1 year before the Sherlock TV series started from BBC, and the music in this movie it quite reminds me of the music in the TV series, and I guess it's not unnatural that when you have two productions that are ongoing at almost the same time and that take the same source material as basis, that perhaps there had been some communication between the two different production teams. I don't know. Possibly there's an interesting story there. There are also some elements of the Sherlock TV series that you sort of get the impression that they might have been inspired by the movie. So you have, especially in the start of the movie, you have sort of detailed scenes where Sherlock uses his visualization powers to predict events. So he almost at the level of having precognition. So he can just from observing something for a very short time, sort of simulate events that will occur based on what he does. So typically in fight scenes, so he observes some person and then he is able to visualize how this person can be fairly simply beaten up or made unconscious. And this sort of visualization power is not too unsimilar to what I have in the Sherlock TV series, I thought. Of course, they have sort of expanded on and built on it quite a lot in the TV series. So you have this Mind Palace element in the Sherlock TV series where he sort of in very high detailed analyze things using his mind, and it's not that extensive in this movie, at least not from what we get to see, but you can sort of imagine that the Sherlock TV producers took some inspiration from this movie and put it into the TV series. That would be my guess, at least. So it's perhaps an interesting thought to consider where the Sherlock TV series had been if this movie hadn't been made. Perhaps it would have been gone in a different way. Who knows? There are also some interesting supernatural elements in this movie. So when I say interesting, I mean I've been playing the Sherlock Holmes The Awakened game recently, where there are sort of Cthulhu mythos related elements which are clearly supernatural. And I've also been reading the Cthulhu Casebooks series, which stars Sherlock Holmes, and both of these have supernatural elements, but approach the material in quite a different way. The book sort of, well, without spoiling too much, it sort of redefines the world quite early on, while the game sort of drips these details of supernatural elements along the way. The movie is takes a slightly different approach, where you have, as is usually the case, Sherlock Holmes being presented as a sort of skeptic who doesn't believe in supernatural explanations for events. And then you have events that will at least appear to be supernatural in nature, and you get to see how he sort of considers and acts on these events having occurred. So, well, I'm not going to go into details on exactly what happens, but it seems like it's a fairly common element to have Sherlock Holmes stories with supernatural elements that either can or cannot be explained away. I didn't remember this from when I originally saw it, so it's quite amusing to see that also this movie had a touch of the supernatural. And I think that's perhaps most of my sort of initial impressions. I might take a sort of deeper look at this movie later. It will be interesting to sort of analyze the story in some more detail, but that will have to wait for another time. And other than that, this movie, it sort of serves as an introduction, or it sort of leads more or less directly into the next movie. And I don't recall much of that one either, so I will probably be seeing it in not too far into the future, so that will also be interesting. So there are several parts of this movie that serves as a sort of setup for the next movie. At least they appear that way. I don't recall how much they are used in the sequel, but I think this one and the next movie possibly produced fairly more or less together. So I enjoyed it. I think Robert Downey Jr. He presents a sort of credible Sherlock Holmes character, and yes, can be recommended if you enjoy character of Sherlock Holmes and are not too put off by this being a sort of Hollywood interpretation of the material. So yes, I think that was everything, and perhaps I will return to this movie at a later date. So goodbye for now. Goodbye.